Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here talking with Northern Virginia Tourism Partnership, and it's all about this wonderful region, very close to DC. There's an incredible amount of stuff to see and do there, and we have today the whole team from Northern Virginia, and we're going to talk to them about all the things that you can visit, all the things that your clients can experience, and even places to stay and suggested itineraries. And you'll find out about all that on Insider Travel Report. Now, first of all, I want you to introduce yourselves because we have a large team here from Northern Virginia. First of all,
Hello, I'm Allie Morris. I work at Visit Fairfax in Fairfax County, and happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Sigel, and I work for Visit Loudoun in Loudoun, Virginia.
I'm Caroline Seacrest with Visit Alexandria.
Fantastic. So we have a lot of good distribution of all over Virginia. And let's first talk about this. Why what is this region, and what does it include in terms? Because it's a pretty large region that goes all the way from DC up, right?
Yeah, Northern Virginia, we like to say, is Virginia's cultural region. So very accessible to DC, just across the river, and really home to a variety of experiences. You can kind of see a little bit of everything just in this little nugget of area. So everything from history to outdoor recreation, wine, beer, spirits, what else we got? Museums, culture.
And we're gonna look at all of that now. And what are the major sort of cities and towns that are there?
So there's several small towns within Northern Virginia, which are great points to go. City of Alexandria itself has a great historic district. We have Occoquan and Prince William. We've got City of Fairfax. We've got Leesburg, Middleburg, Luckett's. We've got a lot of little historic towns right within Northern Virginia.
Yeah, and there's also a really incredible history. We have history of the Revolutionary War. I know the Revolutionary Trail. We have, obviously, the Civil War. There's been a few battles there that people know about. Bull Run, Manassas, things like that. So that's important too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Virginia is older than DC. For instance, Alexandria is celebrating its 275th anniversary next year. So it's a history-rich region from Civil War, Revolutionary War. Black history experiences are really expanding in the region.
Yeah, so you can get a little bit of history and a lot of current stuff too. So what are kind of the major attractions though that people want to see? Because you're gonna, I mean, you have a lot of museums too, right?
Yeah, in Fairfax County, which is a central part of Northern Virginia, we have George Washington's home, Mount Vernon. So it's
I've heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a must visit for anyone coming to the area. On the other side of the county, there's Smithsonian Museum. So everyone thinks Smithsonians are only in DC or New York, but we actually have one in Virginia.
I heard that you have a whole hangar full of planes, which I've actually never been to. I've been to the Smithsonian in DC a lot, but now I'm like, hey, I want to go check this out.
This is a sister site of the one in DC, so it's really cool to see that complementary experience. You can learn about the history of space and aviation in DC, come on out and then see the machinery that powered that history. So it's very cool.
Any other museums you can think of
There's a lot of great hidden museums, I would say, as well. We have the National Sporting Library and Museum in Middleburg. It's a great, we're a big horse country, so it's a great place for equestrian sports. And I know you guys have some great hidden museums too.
What do you got?
Yeah, so in Alexandria, in Old Town Alexandria, our historic district, we have very intimate, small museum experiences from an apothecary that was operational and served the Washington family to the Carlisle House, which was founded by Scottish merchants in the late 18th century. So plenty of historic experiences.
And these are all revolutionary places and things like that we should all know pretty well, right?
Yeah, but even into 19th and 20th century, for instance, we have the location of one of the nation's earliest sit-ins in Alexandria. So a desegregation attempt of the library system in Alexandria. So a lot of spanning really centuries of history.
Yeah, I would also say for military history, a lot of people think, oh, let's go to DC because there's a lot of monuments and memorials, but there's in Prince William County the National Museum of the Marine Corps, which is very unique, and the National Museum of the United States Army. So a lot of ways to experience kind of not just American history, but global history from a military point of view.
Right, and so yeah.
Plus Arlington Cemetery is right in Northern Virginia.
Which most people do know, but they may not visit, you know. I know, so we used to say you go to Arlington to San Antonio, you go to Mount Vernon, and you think, oh, that's it. But there's a lot more to do.
much more,
So
yes.
much more. Now, but I also understand there's something else to do in Virginia. Maybe drinking a little. It's drinking some wine. First of all, you do have a sort of thriving wine culture, right? Who has that culture? Which region? You do?
So Loudoun, which is part of that Northern Virginia region, is known as DC's wine country. So we are home to 50 wineries and vineyards that are all open to the public. And besides Loudoun, there's also some wineries in Fairfax and Prince William. But really, we're the heart of that wine region right outside the nation's capital.
That's amazing to me. And how is it why any good?
It's very good.
I used to say that, back years ago, American wine was not, except you went to California, it wasn't too good. And you go out to other things like, out here in Long Island. But the story is now the whole, growing and the culture has grown so much that it really, this wine is very good, right?
So we are celebrating next year will be the 40th anniversary of Loudoun Wine. So while still young compared to other regions, we've really grown a lot. And
different kind of grapes, too.
A lot of different varietals. You can actually taste grapes from around the world right in Loudoun County.
Wow. Now, beyond wine, you got some other spirits, I think. I think you got whiskey and maybe something, I've heard of moonshine. Who has that most in their region?
Well, Prince William County is home to what they call the Steins, Vines, and Moonshine Trail. Okay. So I think there's some places there you can get to try some homemade moonshine. And then
Can you make your own moonshine?
Do you know that? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. We should try that. I'd like
Maybe
that.
Sweet talk the moonshiner operations, but and then from whiskey, we talked about George Washington's home. He actually has a distillery in Gristmill, 3 miles from his main site, which is known as the gateway to the American Whiskey Trail. So on that site, they still produce whiskey using the 18th century methods, using the 18th century recipe. So it's kind of a unique starting point if you want to explore more of the American whiskey craft.
So you can start with wine and then go for the harder stuff after a little while. Now, of course, you got to find a place to stay when you're doing out there. And this is what our viewers would love to find out. What are some of the properties and really kind of places that you think they should stay in your regions?
Yeah, so in Alexandria, we recently opened Hotel AKA. It's a boutique hotel designed by a renowned Italian architect, Piero Lissoni. We also have the opening of Hotel Heron, which is a redevelopment of a 1926 George Mason hotel. So there are some lovely new boutique hotel experiences in Alexandria.
That's great. And what about you?
So for Loudoun, we've got 2 great resorts, Lansdowne Resort and Salamander Resort and Spa. And
I've heard of Salamander.
Yeah, and then we also have tons of chain hotels, but also tons of bed and breakfast. So if you're looking for kind of that romantic or smaller getaway, we've got a lot in our countryside.
And for your region?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot. We have about 106 hotels in Fairfax County alone, so there's a lot of options. Most are flagged properties, but we do have some unique stays kind of in the heart of like Tyson's Corner. There's a new boutique property called the Watermark Hotel that is a 300 suites hotel that's on the 11th floor of a skyscraper at Capital One's corporate headquarters. So it's kind of cool because the hotel opens out onto this 2.5-acre sky park where you can play putt-putt golf and visit with food trucks and hang out at the beer garden and things
Sounds like you're not ever to leave the hotel after a while.
Right, you don't need to, yeah. And it's right metro accessible too. So you can stay there, hop on the metro, and get wherever you need to in the region.
Now, do you guys have suggested itineraries on your website in terms of, I know you probably could follow some of these trails like the Revolutionary Trail, the Whiskey Trail. I don't know if there's a wine trail, but do you have any kind of itineraries what you would suggest, kind of like this?
Yeah, we have on our website, there's some suggested itineraries and story ideas and things like that to look into. And we're always happy to work with anybody to create customized itineraries based on what the interest is. There's so many avenues you could follow in Northern Virginia that it's better to kind of customize accordingly.
Well, of course, you could look for someone who's interested in Revolutionary history, somebody who wants Civil War history, because, obviously you have the Battle of Bull Run, the Battle of Manassas, these incredible, Northern Virginia is all about history, I think. And then you have your whiskey trail and things like that. Now, how do you get there? What are the? I think it's pretty easy, right? Most people think. And where do you go?
So Northern Virginia is very accessible. We're actually home to both major airports. So Reagan and DCA are both. Sorry, that is Dulles. Reagan and Dulles.
Reagan and Dulles.
Reagan and Dulles are both there. Amtrak. There's Amtrak stops in Northern Virginia, and there's also metro accessibility.
Okay, that's fantastic. It's very easy to get to, and not too far from D.C. You're right next to D.C., so you're not far.
You could walk there. You could take a metro. So it depends on where in the region you need to do. Yeah, boats, bikes, cars. Trains, planes, automobiles.
Now, is there anything else you want to tell our viewers about your region and what they really should experience?
I mean, I would be remiss if I did not mention shopping, independent boutiques, outlets, huge shopping centers. So if you're looking for shopping, absolutely you can find it in the Northern Virginia region. But I think, like we were saying, any angle that you want to follow, you can find it here.
And anything else you want to tell our travel advisors about your region?
I think you couple that wine with a very diverse culinary scene too. So a lot of farm to table, but also a lot of global cuisine right in Northern Virginia.
Fantastic. Well, actually, we didn't talk about that. You got a lot of great restaurants too,
It's
right?
fantastic. Yeah.
And I noticed in the notes that you have some pretty famous chefs around there.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more chefs bringing their concepts from places like DC into Northern Virginia. I think they're realizing more people are living there, and they're finding people that are really wanting to have good, authentic food, and you won't be disappointed. You could eat somewhere new every meal of the day. New Yorkers know too. That's kind of like here, but it's just really unique.
No, it does. I saw some great chefs that I could see like that. So anyway, so Northern Virginia, send your clients down there. And where can travel advisors go to find out more information about the region?
At www.northernva.org, and you can find a lot more about the region there.
Well, I just tell you, after talking with you guys, I definitely want to go down because I want to explore this wine trail, the whiskey, the moonshine, and of course the museums, which are just amazing to me. I mean, it really is. I've been to DC a million times, but really not much out of it. In Alexandria, I have been out there because there are different things that I go to down there, like the American Society of Travel Advisors, you all know, is headquartered in Alexandria. Thank you guys. It was great. You got me wanting to go. And hopefully we got a lot of travel advisors out there that are going to want to send their clients down there and connect with you guys to find out what's going on down there. Again, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.